be creative today, but didn't quite come out the way I thought. I should have used this with the plantain and made plantain cups, but I'll do that next time. But I made ratatouille yesterday. Ratatouille. You know, I was reading the other day, not reading, but I was watching the news. They said Ratatouille was voted one of the most, or the most popular movie ever. I was like, really? I thought Avatar was, or The Sound of Music, which is my favorite movie. But I bought 3 plantains today. This is really green, and it's a beauty. But the other ones that I got were a little bit halfway. One was halfway, and then I have another one that was fairly ripe. So what you can do with that is to put them in the oven, put a little oil on, and then cook it. And then once they were soft, I put them on the block here on parchment paper and press them really low. My idea was like, maybe we can do like a lasagna. So I'm trying this one. So thank you, whoever joined. So this is remember the kitchen is my laboratory, right? So I pressed the 2 plantains whole on the parchment paper, and then I put it back in the oven. So now what I have is I got 2 plantains that are like, look at that, right? Because I needed something to eat with the ratatouille. Remember the ratatouille? I think I've made it for you guys before. This is eggplant, zucchini. You could put pepper. I have tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, carrots, and I had the leeks, that were left. Because that's what I do. I just go in there and see what else can I do. And I had it was like a full pan like this. And then you put herb oil and garlic and all the herbs. There is thyme in there. There is rosemary. I had cilantro, garlic, something else. I forgot what else. But anyway, very nicely seasoned. And then you bake it. Now, when you finish with the ratatouille, you could also grate some fresh Parmesan, and it makes a wonderful side dish. You can have some jasmine rice with it. You can have couscous. You can have quinoa. You can have, especially if you're plant-based, this is one of the easiest side dishes, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put the ratatouille on my plantain. I guess you could slice some potatoes as well, right? You could do potato boats, but next time I'm going to slice the plantain and make cups and then put the ratatouille in. Oh my God, that's going to be so good. And then I'm thinking as a topper, definitely you want some avocado, something green, because you already have tomatoes on here. And so you see, hopefully I can eat all that. But if you wanted to, maybe if you're having a party and you want to do some finger food, this is probably something that you could serve. When I made ratatouille for Thanksgiving, I was surprised of how many people loved it, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the serrated knife. I'm going to go slice it, and then it's just going to become like a finger thing. So, remember, your kitchen is your laboratory. Go ahead and play. Play with food. This is not a catch phrase. I actually mean it. Play with your food. All right, let's see how this goes. Now this is the one that is kind of ripe, right? Or I make some pita chips You could do that as well, and then put the ratatouille. The ratatouille would become kind of like a dip, right? The ratatouille is so good and so flavorful, right? Ooh. Let's see. Let me get a piece. And then, you don't want your food to be boring. You want to say, okay, I'm going to try. I thought I cut this. Or maybe just do the plantains by themselves and then put the ratatouille on top. Yep, that would have been a lot easier than trying to fight with this. There we go. So this is going to be dinner because I don't have anything else in the house. So good. Again, it's something different. It shows creativity. So if you wanted to plate that, let me get another plate. Now this is mine. But, wow. Okay. So this is plantains that has been cooked in the oven. But if you want to fry, you can. As you know, I don't fry anything in my kitchen anymore. But the ratatouille is so flavorful that you don't need to put anything else in there, right? So that's going to make it a little bit something new. And then if you want to put like some parsley, some cilantro, but for me, I would definitely put a piece of avocado there. I would prefer that. But that's finger food, right? And this is something that I just thought about. I just thought I'd share it and give you some ideas. But you can slice some tomatoes, potatoes, put them in the air fryer or in the oven, take them out, and then top them with the ratatouille. Now you may want to be fancy and you may want your pieces to look about the same size. You can. But like I said, the star here is the ratatouille. Oh, such good stuff. Okay. So you get the idea. This one is a little bit, the size is crooked. So let's do this one. So the other thing you could do too is like if you're putting these on the side and in the middle, you could maybe do some guacamole in the middle or some, what do they call that? Pico de gallo, right? You could. But this is just something different, something unique that I know your guests would say, what's that? Especially people who say they don't like plantains. Then you could do sweet potato slices too. So this coming Sunday, I'm gonna make lentil burgers. And I was thinking that I'm gonna have different ways of using the lentil burgers. Now I didn't put this one in there because it's a little bit weird, but So lentil burgers, I'm gonna do a regular. Hi Clayton Woodstock, what's for dinner? I just smashed like 2 whole plantains, double baked, and then I'm topping them with ratatouille. I made ratatouille yesterday and I was trying to figure out how to use it. Not delicious food, but I'm sorry if you don't like ratatouille. But those of us who are whole food plant-based, we have to be a little bit more creative with our food. Like I said, the ratatouille by itself, you can have it with quinoa, pita wedges, rice. Yesterday I went to a Thai restaurant and they didn't know how to cook rice. So you could do that. But I don't know why anybody would not want ratatouille unless you don't like eggplant and stuff like that. It's on you. So lentil burgers. I bought some oats today. So lentil, we're gonna put spinach, maybe a little bit of tomatoes. I don't like to put tomatoes in lentils. Peppers, onions, garlic, lots of herbs. Form the patties, cook them, and wait, cook the lentil first, right? I didn't want to do the loaf because I don't like meatloaf, but I think it's the same principle of shaping it and then cooking them. So I'm gonna buy some brioche buns and then make the burgers, with lettuce, tomatoes. I'm gonna caramelize some onions and put on the topping. Instead of mayonnaise, we're gonna make a sour herb sour cream. I use that. And then put it on the bread and then put the lentil burger and then put the lettuce, tomato, and onion. Yum. And I'm thinking of doing some sweet potato fries on the side. That's one. The second one, I can make some lentil balls, like meatballs. I'm going to be making marinara, maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow. And then you're going to put in the marinara like you're doing meatballs, right? But instead of pasta, because I'm trying to stay away from pasta, I'm thinking we could use the balls on top of a mash, right? We could do mashed potatoes, or we could do a mash with squash. So I'm gonna do like a poll and see what people want to do. So put the meatballs in a mash, and then on top you can put arugula and just make sure it's like yummy. And the third way I want to do it, I'm going to keep the patty, but I'm going to put it on top of a chickpea, olives, and pepper salad. I make a nice one, and then you put one patty on top. So you could do patties 3 or 4 ways. The lentil burgers 3 or 4 ways. So again, I'm only creative in the kitchen. This is just something I just thought about, but this is dinner. I have class coming up at 6. So just wanted to share a little bit because I love plantain so much. And I do have a recipe for, it's not like a lasagna, but it is a layered kind of plantain, except that what you do, we pickle onions and peppers, and then we put that in the middle. And I think we could have put the ratatouille, but we want to do something different. But ratatouille is something I like to have on hand because I can cook it with eggs. I can have it with, I don't eat bread, but I could eat it with quinoa and couscous and just by itself. Yesterday I had half a yam left, so I cut that. Or you could have it with boiled yuca. You could do that. Oh, listen, be creative, okay? All right, guys, it's Thursday evening. I hope you have a lovely evening. God loves you. I love you. Bye.